Welcome to Birds of Prey Sports Talk. We're your hosts, Jared and CJ. And in this video, we're going to recap the Orioles versus Nats series, the Beltway, or the Beltway series is what they call it. And I believe after this series was over, we have a 51-32 record against them, either in DC or in total. So we own the Beltway series.
Yes.
It's always been in the competitive series. Even when we were both good. Back early in 2012 to 2016. But so we actually went to one of the games, right? We went to the game on
Yes.
Tuesday where we won
Yes.
1-0. Took some pictures, I think some videos as well, and it was fun to go to a new stadium. I caught a ball. You got a ball, and your dad got a ball. So like, it was just everybody was getting baseball, so that was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I did pay the price for it though, getting a cut on my hip. It still hurts. I have a bruise on it now, so it hurts. But
Some
anyway,
some things are just worth it.
I know. I mean, well, that wasn't because I missed the ball on that one. So,
Yeah.
hmm. So anyway, we're just gonna jump right into the series, which was honestly a pitching duels type of series. I guess you can call it that. The Orioles pitching obviously has been struggling. This season hasn't really been doing great, but something seemed to hit the fan. Or turn the corner after the White Sox game, after the first inning of that game, after they Grayson Rodriguez pitches 5 innings, but in that first inning he got destroyed. He lost 4 runs, no runs after that, and they did not allow one run this series. Oh, excuse me. I got to start drinking the sparkling water. It keeps making me burp on these videos. Anyway, this is good though. You gotta try it. This isn't sponsored, by the way. Hopefully, maybe one day. Anyway, so for the first game, like I've already mentioned, we won 1-0, and we improve our record to 10-7, and we didn't reach 10 wins last year until we reached 17 losses. So
Move.
it's a good improvement. It's a 10
Yes.
game improvement. So our top hitters are just Ryan Mountcastle, 1 for 4 with a run, and Austin Hayes, who had the only RBI of the game, 1 for 4. It was an RBI single. He tried to stretch it for 2, but got thrown out at second, and
Yes.
we always happen. For the pitchers, Dean Kramer goes 6 2/3, 4 hits, no runs, no earned runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts. And a note about him is, I believe around like in the third or fourth inning, he allows the first two to get on. They're on second and third, and strikes the next 3 guys out and gets out of the inning. Just we need that. You need that. Especially for like postseason play and down the stretch September type plays. Where you get into a jam, you need to shut down. And that was elite pitching. I know it's against the Nationals and their lineup's kind of bad to just keep it generous. So just to keep it nice. But it's pretty bad. Anyway, Danny Coulomb comes in the seventh inning, pitches 1/3 of an inning, doesn't allow any hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Yanir, that's Yanir, right?
Yes.
Yanir Cano was 1 inning, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, no walks, and a strikeout. He's become just a beast for the Orioles, just to be honest. And Batista comes in, gets the save, allows a hit, and allows him to get a second. I believe, or third. I think he allows him to get to second.
Hmm.
And scary stuff when he was in a 1-0 game. He's
Right.
kind of you kind of want him more in a 2 to 3 run game, to just kind of to feel less stressed, I guess. But
Hmm.
he got the job done. That's all that mattered. You get the job done, and yeah. So our pitching totals, we have 4 guys come in, only 5 hits allowed, no runs, and 7 total strikeouts. Oh, and another note, no walks. So I know this was against a bad team. Already expressed that like enough. But are you confident that this team, this bullpen, the starters can get it done versus teams like the Yankees, can get it teams like the Blue Jays, the Padres, Dodgers, all these power hitting teams? Do you feel like they can do what they did in this series against them?
Yes. Well, I believe I already answered this question before, but I believe that we can do it, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that games like this against kind of lesser skilled opponents can definitely help out our, readiness and, prepare us for teams like that. I mean,
Right.
just seeing what Dean Kramer was doing and again the adversity that he faced in that
Mm-hmm.
inning, the Nationals very much could have scored and it would have been a whole new different game,
Yep.
especially with the crowd. Well, it wasn't much of
the
a
10
crowd,
people
but
that were there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know what I mean. The momentum swinging. I mean, that's what I feel like we should take out the most in this game is
Mhm.
the adversity that, we face and how we respond to it. And, definitely by that, getting out of a jam like that, getting three straight strikeouts to get out the way. I feel like that's important. And I feel like we are going to need that against teams like the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, all the big boys in the league, the Astros. So yeah.
I mean, the Astros. Well, I mean, we own the Astros when it comes to pitching for
Yeah.
some reason. It seems like, but you gotta worry about them. But anyways, yeah, I agree. I think we have answered this question, and honestly, it's simple as just getting the job done. You
Yeah.
don't want to, you know, take too long or like allow this team. Like I think in the A series, it was annoying because we were letting this awful lineup get to us. From a pitching standard. So I think that the pitching coming in and shutting the door down versus the Nats is key because I mean it's always going to be a loss situation. It's always going to be like, oh, you dominated a bad team, or if you don't dominate them and you allow 3 or 4 runs and you lose, oh, it's going to be how did you lose to them? So it's like honestly, us fans, we just got to realize that we got the job done. The pitchers came in, and Cano has really been a bright spot to this team. He's came in every appearance, has pitched at least an inning, and has looked. I mean, he just looked unhittable. He has command over his stuff, and he just. I don't even think he's allowed to run yet. And he's pitched, I believe, 3 or 4 games. So that's impressive. We got, like I said, I think I said in the last video, we got it for Jorge Lopez. So
Mm.
just a guy who might take CNL Perez's job, who we're going to get to in a second in the next game. But again, nothing really to talk about in game one besides good pitching and one good hit that gave us a run. Anyway, the player of the game is Dean Kramer, and because he pitched 6 and 2/3. But so we're going to get on to game two. The Orioles win this game a little bit more, handily, 4-0.
Yeah.
And again, it's another game that we kind of missed on some opportunities. I believe we had the bases loaded and no outs, and we don't score. But
Hmm.
the top hitters of the game are Anthony Santander, goes 1 for 3, has a walk and scores once. Adam Frazier comes in replacement for Jorge Mateo, who does get injured in this game. I will talk about that a little bit more. He goes 1 for 2, hits a bomb, 2-run shot, 1 run and 1 walk. Henderson goes 1 for 3 and an RBI, which is crucial in the ninth inning because it allowed Bautista to rest, and he threw a lot of pitches in game one. I believe he threw like 22.
Right.
So just want to talk a little bit of Jorge Mateo's injury. He left the team with an ankle injury. That's what was reported at first, but it changed to a hip injury. So, but it then changed again because I don't know if this is his brother or it's a friend because on Twitter he always calls him mi hermano, which is my brother in Spanish. But I'm gonna assume it's his brother, but I mean it just could be like like my bro, like how you're my bro, But anyway, he claimed that he was dehydrated, and which is kind of ironic because we have the what do they call it, the Orioles water station or whatever. When you
Hmm.
get a single, you got to turn the faucet, and then when you get a double, you got to do the sprinkler, the little celebration they do. And then when they hit the home run, you get the homer hose. There's also
Hmm.
another inappropriate name for it, but I don't really want to say that here. But anyway, but like I was saying, it's kind of ironic for Mateo because he uh is I mean not from Mateo, but for the Orioles in general, because I mean we have a freaking water station. So
Yeah.
but I think he needs to stay hydrated out of most of the players because he does the most. He steals the bases, he plays great defense, and his bat has been so far elite of all the players on the team. But anyway, for our pitching stats in this game, Kyle Bradish comes back. So he comes back from injury. So we gain one, but we lose one. And with Kyle Bradish, who's been, I believe, one of the Orioles podcasters, Locked on Orioles, or maybe somebody else has been calling Kyle Bradish the ace of this team ever since spring training. He comes back after his 1 inning of work in Texas after his injury. He comes in, pitches 6 innings, 5 hits, no runs, no earned runs, 6 strikeouts, and only 1 walk. Brian Baker comes in, pitches an inning, also no hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts, and no walks. He also does a moonwalk off the mound after he strikes out the last guy. I don't know if you've seen that. Cena Perez, again, I don't say awful, but just not a good outing. 1/3 of an inning, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, one strikeout, but two walks. Strikes out the first guy, then walks the next two. You just can't do that, man. He's supposed to be when you're the setup guy. You come into the eighth inning, you shut the door down for either the closer or whoever's coming into the ninth. So he's gonna get his freaking job taken by Yennier Cano, who comes in to fix his mess again because he pitches 2/3 of an inning, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, no strikeouts, no walks, but gets the last two outs that Ciano Perez couldn't get. So slowly but surely, Cano might be taking Perez's job. And when Michael Givens and Dylan Tate come back, he might be worried. Obviously, I think the first candidates to be, get rid of or sent down are Austin Voth and Keegan Aiken. But if Perez keeps pitching slightly awful, you know, he might be a next one to be sent down
Yeah.
because, like we've already established here, his spin rate's down. He's not getting swings and misses. He's in the lowest percentile. He's like the worst pitcher when it comes to swing and misses. Like he's in the first percentile. It's ridiculous.
Hmm.
So he just is not getting the same results. And he was supposedly the biggest regression candidate heading into the season. He pitched to a 1-something ERA last year, was projected to be, a 3-something ERA reliever this year. And that might be good for a starter, a 3 ERA. That's like average or above average, depending on what the 3 is. But for a reliever who pitches an inning or somewhat of an inning, it's not good. Giving up 3
No.
runs in one inning is not ideal.
Right.
So that's the equivalent of giving up 6 runs as a starting pitcher in 3 innings. So not ideal. So Cano might be taking his job. And Mike Baumann comes in for the last inning to save Bautista's work. One, he does allow a hit, but he strikes out 2, and he ends the game. No save, but the win does go to Kyle Bradish, and the player of the game actually goes to Kyle Bradish. Welcome back, To switch back to Perez for a second, it is his birthday, so I don't want to go too hard on him. So happy birthday to Ciano Perez.
Happy birthday.
Almost called a baseball today in today's game, but again, we're always foreshadowing our next videos because we're always doing this when a new series starts. But anyway, happy birthday to Ciano Perez. But yeah, I pitched a little better. That should be your gift, is pitching a little better,
Yeah.
or our gift, really. But anyway, so I just want to ask you real quick: if Yennier Cano keeps pitching like how he's been pitching, lights out, stranding runners, and Perez keeps struggling like this, where he doesn't walks a lot of guys, is Cano going to take this man's job as the setup man to set up Bautista or whoever's coming into the ninth?
Um, I believe so. I mean, and just like how you said earlier with Dylan Tate, coming back in, and the other picture, what was his name?
Michael Givens.
Dylan Tate and Michael Givens. I mean, these guys, they're gonna come back in. They're gonna be ready to go. I'm pretty sure,
Mm-hmm.
So I would say he's definitely about to. If he's not on the hot seat, he's close to being on the hot seat. And as the season goes on, like I always say, we'll have you know at some point in the season, we'll have each player go through that adversity. And so
Mm-hmm.
maybe this is, CNL Perez's moment where he'll get to shine and, break out of it, or maybe he'll crumble within it. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I definitely feel like if he crumbles, then, his spot will be gone along with
Mm-hmm.
Keegan Aiken and possibly Austin Voth,
Yeah.
because we just can't have this sort of inconsistency going forward when we're going to be going up against big teams in the
Right.
playoffs and later on in the season. That's when things start to heat up and the
Right.
pennant race starts coming on. So, I agree. I feel like, he's definitely on the hot seat. He definitely, could be moved if he doesn't change his stuff.
Right. I fully agree. And the only thing that Voth has going from is he was a starting pitcher last year. So you need a long man, you need a middle reliever, you need a setup man and a closer. And Voth is really our only long reliever. If let's say Grayson Rodriguez gets knocked around in the first or second inning and gets taken out, or Bradish gets knocked around, Kramer, whatever, and Grayson has been known for getting knocked around the first. Kramer has been known to get knocked around the whole game, really. And what's his other name? Tyler Wells, Kyle Bradish, and really seem to be the only relievers that stay consistent. Tyler Wells has been kind of great for us the past 2 years, but he pitches tonight or pitched tonight. So we'll talk about that in our next video. But and Mike, look, let me just say this: our bullpen seems to have gotten it somewhat together. We know where our flaws are. Let's fix the flaws. Let's finish the job. Let's shore up this bullpen. We're gonna need a good bullpen for a playoff run. That's the most important thing for the playoffs. I mean, look even back when the Orioles were in the playoffs. Look when the Royals did the year they beat us. Their bullpen was unhittable. I mean,
Right.
you couldn't touch them. You just couldn't. They came in, shut the door down. They were all clutch. It seemed like they had no holes in their freaking bullpen. There wasn't that one guy who they brought in and was like, ugh, like the Royals fans were like, oh my god, here comes three
Yeah.
runs, whatever. Like there wasn't a guy like that, and I think a great bullpen for us would be, with Brian Baker being another setup man. Obviously, Bautista as the closer. Mike Baumann could even be a longer reliever because he came up as a starter. So maybe that pushes Austin both, off the radar, and to the DFA list. Um, Yinir Cano is obviously, pretty good. You're gonna have Dylan Tate. He's probably the most important piece of this bullpen, man. I'm telling you. Like he has nasty stuff and he pitches at a high velocity as well. So he has his moments where he may blow a game, but I mean that's kind of any reliever. You know, we don't have, I wouldn't say like elite relievers besides maybe Bautista,
Mm.
but so we have like good relievers who may blow a game every once in a while, so but this bullpen looks pretty pretty much better than what it looked like a few weeks ago, especially since Logan Gillespie was sent down. I'm glad he was sent down. He was ignoring all those damn kids in freaking DC, not giving them any baseball. He was a jerk. So it's another thing he's going for on my hit list. So one of the reasons I don't like him, he's kind of a jerk.
Well, we were
Um,
making fun of him, so it was okay. So,
right in front of him.
yeah.
He was right there. He's like right in front of us. Well, good thing he couldn't hear us. Imagine if he turned around. He's like, what? He couldn't hit and he couldn't swing at us, or because he probably missed. Or give a home run or something. I don't know. So, anyway,
For some reason, yeah, how somehow it was like, oh, it's a home run, and the
like
game hasn't even
on a
started.
punch, like what? Like anyway, that's pretty much the recap of the series. The Orioles win the sweep. They got their first sweep of the year. A good
Mm.
2-game series win against our our Beltway rivals, not our division rivals. I wish they were in the division, but we get to
Yeah.
beat their ass 13 times a year. Anyway, I think that's all we have for today. We're playing series versus I believe the Detroit Tigers now. 3-game series for the weekend. Don't know if the Saturday game's going to get in. And me and you will be heading to the game on Tuesday to watch the Boston Red Sox.
Yes.
I want to apologize to if anybody got their hopes up for me posting our video clips or pictures on the A's video. I totally forgot that we were doing that, and I didn't do it. I kind of feel bad. But we'll try to do it for this Boston video.
Yes.
Try to take some pictures and videos and everything. But I think that's all we have for tonight. Do you have any last words or anything with us?
No, we pretty much covered everything.
I gotta stop saying, "Do you have any last words?" I sound like them freaking movie villains. But anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. All of our social media is down to the bottom: our TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Usually we just post when when we post any videos, but we'll try to figure out ways to make our social media more interactive and more interesting, I guess. Anyways, and I think I don't have anything else to say, and I believe we're birds of prey, and we're out.
We're out.